Yeah, ability to generate the cash flows and the need for cash flow. That means how much need the company has for the cash or cash equivalent. Then ability to next is timing. They want to know at what time you're going to get the cash inflow or at what time the company will have cash outflow. Okay. And then certainty. What is certainty? Certainty about what? Can someone tell me? I discussed yesterday. Certainty of their generation. That means what? Can someone tell me quickly?
So that the company would stay for a longer period in the market and not for a shorter term.
Okay. Anything else? I told a very specific
So
thing
how
yesterday.
they were doing in the past, sir?
Okay. That is a few of past one. Certainty of their generation. That means talking about the future, not past. Certainty means how certain it is that you're going to get this cash flow. So you may give a budget. They may prepare a budget and say this much cash I'm going to receive. But how much certain is that? Okay. So Indian government also prepared a union budget in the month of February and they disclosed in the parliament. But now because of pandemic, how sure is that the Indian government is going to get that cash inflow, whatever they have projected? Can someone be 100% certain?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Same thing happens to cash flow also. So cash flow statement when you're preparing, sometime it may not be certain. So they want to know, the users of financial statement, they want to know, okay, how certain is that you were able to generate this cash flow. Okay. So nobody can say 100%, but they will get some clue what is the capacity or what is the certainty with which the company can generate the cash flows. Are you getting it? What I'm explaining? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So already we discussed cash means the cash in hand as well as the demand deposits in the bank. Cash equivalents are the short-term highly liquid investment which you can readily convertible into cash without incurring much risk. Okay. And this is what we saw yesterday. Classification of activities for the preparation of cash flow. So there are three activities what we already discussed: operating activities, investing activity, and financing activity. Okay. So yesterday we discussed one activity, which is that. Can someone tell me what is operating activity?
It will be cash inflow and cash outflow, sir.
Yeah. From what? Can you give me example of?
When it is cash inflow, we'll get receipts. When it is cash outflow, we get payments, sir.
No, that's fine. What I'm asking is, what are the example for cash outflow and cash inflow for operating activity? Or what do you mean by operating activity? First of all, I told yesterday. I gave an example also of one company.
So day-to-day expense that we need to run the business.
Yeah, day-to-day expenses. We need to run the business, and then. So this is one of the very important one, very important in primary and the main activity of an enterprise. Okay, so you can see there cash inflows will be, so when you buy the raw material and you manufacture or do a production process and then you get the finished goods and you take these finished goods and sell in the market, and that is what is the sale of goods. Or sometimes you may be only in service industry. Okay, so you may provide services and get the cash inflow. Or it can be you have some production process which have been, you have a patent for that, and that patent you are given the other person to use it, but they have to pay the royalty. So the royalty what you receive is a cash inflow, the fees, the commissions, and other revenues what you're going to get. That is called cash inflows. Okay, and then this is mainly for a business for generating, preparing the raw materials and preparing them into finished goods and selling in the market. And what are the other expenses what they incur? That is your cash outflow. Like when I purchase raw material, I have to pay the supplier for goods and services. My employees are working with me, so I have to pay them the cash payments and I have to pay some payment for on behalf of the employees. Like for example, PF, Provident Fund. So employee Provident Fund, the employer also have to pay 50% of that. And then sometimes they'll have insurance. So company has to pay the insurance on behalf of the employees, and then gratuity, all those things. Okay. And then cash payments to an insurance enterprise for premiums and claims, annuities, and other policy benefits. This actually refers to the company who are involved in financial services like insurance company and portfolio management services company, wealth management companies, okay, and other non-banking financial services, all those companies, okay. For them, what is the cash outflow? So when there is a claim from a policy holder, then the insurance company have to pay the claim. So it is a cash outflow for them. And then cash payment for income tax, when you're paying the income tax, other than for financing or investing activity. For example, when you generate a sales or revenue, you have to pay income tax. Yes or no? So that tax is referring here, not the financing tax or investing tax. Okay, that we will discuss in short time. Okay, and then an enterprise may hold various securities, okay, or the loans, okay, that talks about your banks and financial institutions, okay, for dealing or for trading purpose. Sometimes the traders, for example, wealth management company, they will buy some shares and keep it with them, and they want to sell it later. So that is a trading purpose. So for these companies, and in such cases, they represent the inventory specially held for resale. Okay. And therefore, cash flows arising from purchase and sale of dealing or trading in security, that means your equity stocks or debentures, are classified as operating activities for a financial company or financial services company. Similarly, cash advances and loans made by financial enterprises are usually classified as operating activities since they relate to main activity of that business. Because a particular company's main business is take the advances from the companies and give the loans, or take the deposit from the depositors and give the loan. Okay. So for those company, this is actually a operating activity. For a manufacturing companies, it may not be a operating activity. This may come under your financing activity when you borrow the loan and you pay the interest on that. Okay. Understood, students? This is what is for banking and financial services company when they are involving. So for them, the loans and the advances, okay, and securities, what they are holding for trading purposes, all that is comes under your operating activities only. Clear? Any doubt? Are you able to get it, students? This is very, very important to understand, or else sometime you will get confusion. Yes or no? Kindly please reply.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Next, second activity. Understood? Operating activity. Operating activity, the cash flows are mainly for your, because of your main business, okay, of your manufacturing or services. Okay. Next one is investing activity. What do you mean by investing? There are different types of investing. Okay.
Putting your money in other businesses.
Pardon me?
Putting your money in other businesses.
Yeah, you are investing in other businesses by purchasing the other company's shares or debentures. Okay, then
Stock, purchasing stock.
purchase of stock. See the first point. What is the first point says?
Fixed assets.
Fixed assets also. When you purchase a fixed asset, that means the company is investing their money into fixed assets. Okay, so investing can be in the physical assets, that is the fixed assets, or it can be in financial assets also, like equities, debentures, bonds, treasury bill, money market instruments, all of that. Got it? So payment, cash payment to acquire the fixed assets, including tangible or intangible, okay, and capitalized research and development. When you're investing in research and development, is also investment. When they are
Yes, sir.
investing huge money in R&D, and
Yes, sir.
cash payments to acquire shares, warrants, or debt instruments of other enterprise other than the instrument those held for trading purposes. Okay, sometimes they invest there to become a partner or to become a owner of the other company. That is also investment. Okay, sometimes they hold for trading also. And then cash investments, cash advances and loans made to third party other than advances and loan made by a financial enterprise wherein it is operating activity. It is where your manufacturing company is giving advances to his subsidiaries or is giving loan to somebody else. That is also called as investing activity. Why it is called investing activity? For a manufacturing company,
So that's because they are mainly into manufacturing, not into any lending. That's not their core activity.
yeah. And why it is investment? What is the benefit they're going to get?
So the interest they are going to get.
The interest that they receive.
So by investing, they're going to earn the interest, okay, on the loans and advances, whatever they provide. Sometimes they provide for their subsidiaries, sometimes they provide for other companies or their parent company or for their sister concern companies, they provide the loans and advances. Clear? These are the examples of outflow, cash outflow for investing activity. Now we
Sir,
will see. Yeah.
If I invest again in the business, suppose if I am rebuying my shares itself, so will that be a cash outflow or will that be a cash inflow for me?
That will not come at all in the investing activity. That will come under financing activity. Repurchase of shares, you are talking, right?
Yes, sir. Repurchasing the
comes
shares of
under-
our company.
Yeah, that comes under financing activity. We will discuss that. That comes under financing activity. Good. Good question. Who asked that question?
Razvi.
Yeah, Razvi, correct. Okay, now we will see inflow. When it can be an inflow in investing activity. So cash receipts from disposable of fixed assets, including intangible assets. That means when you are selling your fixed assets or you are selling your goodwill or trademarks, okay? Then cash receipts from repayment of advances or loans made to third parties, okay? Except in case of financial enterprise. So when you receive the money, because you are given the advances or loan to your subsidiaries, so when you receive, it will become cash inflow for you, except for financial enterprise, because for them it is a operating activity. And then cash receipt from disposable of shares. When you sell the shares, you'll get the cash inflow, or you sell your debentures, warrants, okay, other enterprise, except those held for trading purpose. And interest received in cash from loans and advances. I said earlier, right? So when you are giving loan or advances to somebody, you are going to get the interest. So when you get the interest because of your lending, okay, I repeat, because of your lending money, it is cash inflow because of investing activity. So please remember this. So this clarity you need to have when you want to solve the problems. Okay. So when you want to prepare the cash flow statement, sometimes you get confusion. Should I add this in operating activity, or should I add in investing activity, or should I add in financing activity? So you have to be very, very careful. Okay. So interest received in cash from loans and advances, it is cash inflow from investing activity. Then dividend received from investment in other enterprises. So when you are investing in some other company equity stocks, so you are going to get the dividend. That is inflow, cash inflow, because of investing activity. Is it clear, students? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Any other points you didn't understand or you want me to explain again? So this you have to clearly understand, student. Okay, then only you will be able to do it correctly, the cash flow statement. It's very, very important. And definitely you'll get one question on cash flow statement. for your exams, midterm as well as final exam. Okay. If no doubts, we'll go to next activity. That is the third activity, third and the last activity. That is financing activity. So cash inflows from financing activities. So cash receipt from issuing shares or preference share. So whenever I'm issuing shares, so what do I get when I issue shares or debentures or preference shares? Is it a cash inflow or cash outflow? When the company issues share, so what do they get?
So
The
cash
shareholders,
inflow.
Cash we get.
they get the cash. Yeah.
Yes.
The shareholders will get the shares and the company will receive the cash. That is why it is a cash inflow. Similarly, cash proceeds from issuing debentures or loans. When you are getting loan, right? When you're borrowing loan, again, it is a cash inflow from a financial institution. Then bonds and other short-term loans, short-term borrowings. When you are doing a borrowing, okay, in the form of loan or debentures or bonds, or short-term or long-term borrowings you're doing from the financial institutions or issuing your financial instrument in the market. That is what is called as cash inflow. Clear? So for company, they can issue in the short term. What are the short-term instrument for the company to raise fund? Can someone tell me?
So promissory notes.
Promissory notes, okay. I think Baby Sir has explained all this in the unit 1, short-term and long-term borrowings. Equity is long-term or short-term borrowing? Equity or preference share?
Long term.
Long term.
Long
Long term.
Debentures
Long term.
Long term.
and loans.
And be
Short-
both.
Loans can be both. Some can
Yes.
be short-term
It
loans,
depends.
some may be long-term loans. Bonds,
Short term.
Sir, again,
bonds
sir,
are
it
always
depends.
long-term. Yeah,
Okay.
bonds are always long-term. Anything else which is not there in the slide? Anything else by which they can borrow the money for short-term?
So commercial paper.
Commercial paper, yeah. Commercial paper, who can issue?
Banks.
Commercial papers.
Go-
Banks is wrong.
Government.
Government.
Wrong. Companies can issue commercial papers. Commercial papers, students, please remember, is for short-term borrowing. You can issue only in the money market. Money market is only for short-term. Okay. Commercial paper issued by companies, commercial companies. And banks, what instrument they can issue for short-term borrowing?
Promissory note.
What are they called as? It's called as CD. I'll give you the hint. CD.
So commerce certificate of deposit, sir.
Yeah, very good. Certificate of deposit. Again, certificate of deposit is a money market instrument they can borrow for short term. Then government also can issue short term borrowing, short term instruments and borrow money for short term in the money market. What is that?
So
Treasury bill, sir.
Treasury bill.
Treasury bills. Okay. So please remember, treasury bill is issued by the government through RBI, and banks issue certificate of deposit for short term, and companies can issue commercial papers. Okay. These are very, very short term. That is issued for 3 months or 6 months maximum, not more than 1 year. Long term is more than 1 year. Normally debenture bonds will be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And these equity stocks are actually not for long term, it is for perpetuity. That means they'll become the owner, okay, of the company. Clear? So next we'll discuss the cash outflows from financing activity. So when it can be an outflow. So obviously when you are borrowing, you have to do some payments, right? So what payments you have to do when you borrow money for long term or short term?
Processing fees.
Pardon me?
Processing fees.
Okay, processing fees, flotation cost, you learned right last topics we discussed, cost of capital in corporate finance. Then interest on debentures. When you are issuing debenture, you have to pay interest. So when I pay interest, so it's a outflow, cash outflow, cash is going out. Then long-term loans or the advances, again, you have to pay interest. And dividends are paid on equity and preference share capital. So which equity is talking here? Whether it is your own company equity or some other company equity.
Own company.
Yeah, your own company shares, when you are issuing either equity or preference share, you have to pay the dividend. When the company is paying dividend for their own equity stocks, what they issued or preference share, then it becomes cash outflow. If you receive the equity, if you receive the dividend, well, where does it come under? If the company is receiving dividend, does it come under financing activity or operating or investing?
So
Investing activity.
Investing activity. Got it? When you receive it as investing, when you're paying, it will be financing activity. Clear? Yeah. So these are the 3 types of activities from where you're going to get the cash inflows and outflow. You can see the summary chart I put here, the flow chart. You can find out from where you get the cash inflows and cash outflows for operating activity, for investing activity, and financing activity. Is it clear? Did you understand? Hope you got some idea about these 3 activities, because you're going to prepare the cash flow statement. You need this understanding. Okay. Clear, students? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Yeah. So anyways, I'll share the PPT with you. You can go through it. So already what all is there in the on the chart I already discussed. Okay. Then this is very, very important. I hope you already written in your notes. All of it, did you write the pro forma in your class notes?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, one more thing I got yesterday from the college is many students are not using your LMS. That is for accounting and for corporate finance. That means many of you are not downloading the video, or you're not watching the videos, or you're not downloading the question bank, or even the assignment you're not doing, or maybe whenever I'm saying download the pro forma and write it down, that means many of you are not writing in your notes, but I can easily find out. And tomorrow I'll tell you the names also. I got the names also. Those who are not using LMS for a very long time. Anyways, I don't have time now to discuss all those things. I will discuss separately that particular thing. Everyone have to do whatever we are telling. If you are not using your LMS will get blocked. Okay, then you cannot access any material from the LMS. I'm telling it again and again. So please use the LMS. Now onwards, I'll make it mandatory you to upload your homework in LMS only. That is better. At least for that sake, you will go to LMS and you will just have a glance and see what is there in LMS, what you can learn from that. Okay. Student, please use the LMS. I'm telling you again and again, even accounting and corporate finance and all the courses, what are you learning from all the course teachers. So please use LMS. At least daily you have to log in and check. Okay. If you don't log in every day, your LMS will get blocked. Afterwards, again, there is a very strict rules for you to again get the activation. So please understand. So don't get into trouble. So whatever we are telling, okay, please listen. Okay. So how many of you have written the pro forma in your class notes? Sincerely tell me. Please raise your hands. Albin, okay. Sanjeev, Abhirami, okay. Mabin, Janani, see only 28. So it's a very, very sad number to tell you the number of students who are writing or obeying whatever we are telling. I'll tell you definitely your LMS will get blocked. Later you have to run around pillar and post, you have to run around to get your activation again. So please don't get into all those things. daily please log into LMS and use it. Read, okay, or watch something in the LMS, what are the videos we are uploading, or read the lessons what you have prepared there. Okay, so or write down the formulas, write down the formats. Don't waste your time. Okay, yeah. So we will. I know only few students have done that. Not even 50% students have done it. It's a very sad thing. Okay. Okay, students, you can lower your hands now. Kindly lower your hands. This is a very, very bad situation, and you will definitely face the consequences. Take it from me. Those are not or listening, whatever we are telling, even the homework or whatever, you be sincere to your own heart. Okay, it's your MBA, it's your marks. You when you study and you get a good marks, that you don't give me the marks to me. Can you give to me? Can someone tell me? Yes or no? When you earn the degree, can I get your degree? No.
Oh, sir.
You don't give me your marks. That marks belongs to you, not for me. You are going to earn the marks for you and for your family. Okay, so please understand. We are not telling for the sake of telling. It is for your benefit. You are a student, you have to do hard work. I know you have to work hard. So you have to strain now, sweating, you should sweat now. So that later you will be able to have a wonderful life in the future. You want to be now only lazy, you don't want to do anything, relax, then the problem will be in the future, you will face the consequences. Okay. And again, next year when you start working, when you start going to next semester, again, placement may start. And again, you may start getting placement. So people who are studying well, who are doing well, you will get internship, you will get placement, and others who are not doing, you will never get. Okay, so please remember, your placements are pipeline, your career, your marks, your exams, all that depends on your hard work only. Even though you may be in home, you are not in holidays. Students, please, you may feel bad. Why sir is telling again and again? Please remember, you are not in holidays. You are in 24/7, you are a student. You are a professional MBA student. You have to work hard. 24 hours you have to study. Okay, except take the time for your sleeping and other things. So you have to be always studying. You have to study, upgrade yourself, learn new things. Okay, learn about the industry, about the business, read newspapers. So many things are there for you to do. Okay, some things we are forcing you to do, like doing CBA or doing Samvad. Other than that, you have to do some more. Okay, that is not sufficient. There are so many students are coming out every year from MBA institutions. So there is a huge competition in the market. So you have to win. We want our KGC students to win and get the first placement. Before students, other students, you see, some colleges have still not even done the exam. They not issued marks card. You ask your seniors, all of them, they finished their exam, they got marks card, they got placed, they started earning the money also. They're getting the salary also. So we are very in a good place. Okay, you are very good place. Only thing is you have to make utilization of the things. So only simple thing, just to follow whatever Dean sir is saying or HOD sir is telling or faculty members are saying. It is for your benefit, students, not for us. Many students get placement, they go and earn money. They don't come and give to us the salary. That is for them and for their family members. Okay, so ultimately we are here to serve you. We are here to make your life beautiful. Okay, you should be one of the very responsible and good citizen. That is what is our goal and aim. Okay, so please do your hard work. It is your MBA, it's your marks. Okay, so more than that I cannot say anything. So next time when I say anything, when I say ask you to raise your hand, everybody should be able to raise your hand. And consciously, not without consciously. Without doing, then just simply don't raise your hand. You should be true to your conscious. Okay. Okay. If you're not written, again I tell you, please write down this format from the LMS. It is there in the LMS. Okay. So cash flow from operating activity. So this is very important part I said. Okay, so many people do mistake in that. So please understand clearly. So how to prepare cash flow from operating activity? There are actually the two methods of preparing that. We will discuss that later. So first you have to write the net profit before tax and extraordinary items. Then we have to adjust the non-cash items like depreciation and non-operating expenses and income. We have to adjust like interest, dividend, okay, and foreign expenses, sorry, foreign exchange losses, and then operating profit before after the working capital changes we have to do, and then we will get the cash generated from or used in operating operation before tax. Then we have to minus the income tax paid. Then we will get cash flow before extraordinary items. Any extraordinary items are there, like for example, sometimes there may be natural calamities, some company they use they undergo loss, or sometimes there is a tsunami. What happened? Lot of their finished goods or raw material will get washed away in the water. So those are called as extraordinary items. So those we have to adjust if it is given in the question. And then we will get the net cash flow or cash inflow or outflow from operating activities. And then cash flow from investing activity. Like already we discussed, investing like purchasing fixed assets or proceeds from sale of fixed assets, anything related to fixed asset. Either you purchase or sale, it will come under investing activity. Similarly, when you are purchasing or selling your investments, financial investment, and then interest and dividend received because of investment, and then net cash from or used in investing activities you'll get. And then third one is cash flow from financing activity. So proceeds from issue of shares and debentures, and proceeds from long-term borrowings and repayment of long-term borrowings, interest paid and dividend paid because you have borrowed the money, and even the repurchase. I think somebody was asking, repurchase of shares also will come here. When you repurchase, that will be cash outflow. Okay, you have to minus that, and then you will get the cash from or used in financing activity. And then you will get the net increase or decrease in cash and cash equivalent. Clear? Any doubt till now? Very simple. Just write down the cash flow from operating activities. Already we discussed what all comes under activity of operating, then investing and financing. If it is cash inflow, you write it add. If it is cash outflow, you have to write it as a negative. That means minus. Okay. So when you are totaling it, cash inflows you have to add, cash outflows you have to deduct. And then after that, once you get the cash net increase or decrease, increase means when you get a positive answer, when you add all the three activities, operating, financing and investing. If you get positive answer, that is net increase in cash and cash equivalent. If it is negative answer, then you have to write net decrease. Clear, students? You have to write net decrease in cash and cash equivalent. And then we have to add cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the period. Okay. So they will give you in the balance sheet. Normally they give balance sheet. They'll give you cash. So when the cash is given, do not consider cash for operating activities. When you have to prepare the changes in working capital, do not consider cash. Other than cash, all of the current assets and current liabilities you can consider. Okay, except cash, because cash will be your final answer. Cash should be your final answer. So here you have to add the opening balance of cash and cash equivalent. When you add that to net increase or decrease in cash and cash equivalent, you will get the cash and cash equivalent at the end of the period. Okay, understood?
So then the same question that I've asked about rebuying of the shares.
Yeah.
So in that case, here you are deducting it, but then there's another effect of that the money is coming into the business again. So it will not be shown here. Will it be shown in the balance sheet or where will it?
That will come in your this thing. Cash equivalent at the beginning and the end of the year. That will show here in the end.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that comes here. Okay. Who asked that question? Kiran, huh? Yeah. Okay. So, very important, I was telling preparation of cash flow from operating activity. Okay, there are two methods. One is called direct method and indirect method. Direct method is little difficult, where you have to add all the cash equivalent inflows and out cash inflows. Then you have to minus the cash outflow. It's very, very difficult and tedious one. So the other one is called indirect method. This is called indirect method, where we will we will calculate the cash flow from operating activities. Okay. So how to do that? First, you have to add net profit for the year or during the year. Then we need to add non-cash and non-operating expenses. Do you remember this? We did something like this in the earlier also. Earlier, what we discussed, where we have done this. We have debited non-cash items, then the apportionment of profit items. Where? Previously, what topic we discussed before cash flow? Cash flow statement. Fund flow. In fund flow, what we did? We did the adjusted P&L account. There, what we did? We have added or debited the non-cash items and non-operating expenses we have added. And then we deducted the non-operating income. Same thing you're going to do here. Clear? It is nothing but your adjusted P&L account. Okay. So non-cash item like depreciation and goodwill written off, preliminary expenses written off, share discount written off. Okay. Then loss on sale of fixed assets or investments or any other assets when you're selling, you got a loss, you can write there. And then any provision you have for taxation, you can add that. Okay. Why am I adding back? Can someone tell me? Why am I adding those things to net profit? Because I want to find out what is the exact cash flow from my operating activities. Okay. So earlier we debited all these things. Whatever I read now, just now, depreciation, goodwill, all those things. By doing that, what happened is my net profit decreased. Now we are going to add it back because that is not because of the main business of my company. Okay, so we are adding back. So that I want to find out the main cash flow from operating activity. That is why I have to add and deduct all those things. Okay. Similarly, we have to less the non-cash and non-operating incomes. Like when you sell a fixed asset, when you get a profit, it's a non-operating income. Then investment. When you're doing any investment, sometimes you'll get the interest, no, or you get dividends. You can minus that. Okay. And then what is the next thing? You will get the net profit after adjusting for non-cash items. Then we have to do the adjustment for changes in current operating assets, except cash and cash equivalent. That will come as your final answer. Cash and cash equivalent will be your final answer, except that all other current accounts, that is your current operating assets and current operating liabilities, except bank overdraft. So cash and cash equivalent and bank overdraft. So what you should do, you can see here, you have to add the increase in current liability and decrease in current assets. And then we have to deduct increase in current assets and decrease in current liabilities. And then income tax, anything you have paid, you can minus that. Then you will get cash flow from operating activities. Clear? Did you understand? First, you have to understand this thing, how to prepare cash flow from operating activity. This is actually a little difficult. And preparing the calculating the cash flow from financing activity or investing activity is very easy. But this is little tedious, little sometimes it will get confused. So you have to understand this very, very carefully. Okay. Any doubt, student? Understood? Pro forma of calculating the cash flow from operating activities. Any doubt? If no doubt, then we'll go for problem. Yeah. We will try to do a small problem now. Only we will calculate cash flow from operating activities. Okay. That is very important. Okay. Are you able to see the screen? Question bank?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We will do question number 4. Okay. That's where they're asking only operating activity. By mistake, it has went to the question number 4. It should be question number 1. That's fine. No problem. So question number 4. Can someone read for us quickly?
Yes, sir. Medium Company Limited made a profit of rupees 50,000 after considering the following items: depreciation of fixed assets rupees 10,000, writing of preliminary expenses 5,000, loss on sale of furniture 500, provision for taxation 80,000, transfer to general reserve 7,000, profit on sale of machinery 3,000. The following additional information is also supplied to you. Debtors in 2018 12,000, in 2019 15,000, creditors 10,000 and 15,000, bills receivable 10,000, 8,500, bills payable 8,000, 6,000, outstanding expenses 5,000, 4,000, prepaid expenses 200 and 300. You are required to ascertain the amount of cash from operations.
Okay. So here they're asking you to calculate only cash flow from operating activities. So we will do it in a indirect method. So what is they given here? The company had made a profit of 50,000, and then he has given the other following items, that is depreciation is given, preliminary expenses written off, loss on sale of furniture, provision for taxation, transfer to general reserve, profit on sale of machinery. Okay. And then he has given some of the current assets and liabilities of both the year. Okay. So we will prepare now. Okay. So we're able to see the Excel sheet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is your cash flow from operating activities. We are going to calculate now. Question number 4. So all of you please draw this table. Just 3-column table, particulars, amount, 2 amount columns. Done? Done, student? If it's done, then you can let me know. All of you please
Yes,
do
sir.
it simultaneously.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't think that you will write down later. I will see from LMS and write the answers later in my question book, in my class notes. You will not get time. How you write down in the notes in the classroom, in the physical classroom, same way you write down now also. Okay. If you want, I can go slowly. No problem. Prepared table?
Yes, sir.
Students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first you have to write cash flow from operating activity. That is the Roman number 1. So now what is the first thing you have to write as per the format?
Net
Profit before tax and extraordinary items, sir.
Yeah. First you have to write the net profit for the year. Okay. See, for calculating operating profit, don't follow this thing. You will get confused because he has not clearly mentioned here which you have to add, which you have to minus. Okay. This you don't consider for calculating operating activity. For operating activity, please refer this format. Okay. So he has very clearly mentioned here what you have to add, what you have to minus. And again, even in the changes in working capital, what you have to add and what you have to minus, he has clearly told here. Okay. Okay. So you have to begin with net profit for the year. So write down that net profit during the year. How much you got?
50,000.
Net profit during the year? 50,000. Next. Next you have to add, we need to add non-operating expenses and non-cash items. Write down that non-cash and non-operating expenses we have to add to net profit. Because earlier these have reduced my net profit, so I have to add it back now. So tell me now from the question, which are the non-operating expenses or non-cash items?
Depreciation.
Depreciation. Okay. How much depreciation?
10,000.
10,000.
10,000. Next.
Loss on sales of furniture.
Yeah. Loss on sale of furniture. How much?
500.
500. Next.
Provision of tax.
Pardon me?
Preliminary expenses, sir.
Preliminary expenses. Written off. Okay. How much?
5,000.
5,000. Next.
Provision for tax.
Pardon?
Provision for taxation
Provision for taxation. How much?
is 80,000.
80,000.
80,000. Okay. Next.
Transfer of general reserve, sir.
Transfer to
General reserve.
general reserve.
General
How much? 7,000.
7,000.
This is actually apportionment of profit. So that is what we are adding back. General reserve transfer. How much?
7,000.
7,000. Anything else?
Profit.
No, sir.
All we are done. Yeah. What about this one? Profit on sale of machinery.
Minus.
Operating income, sir.
Yeah, it is an income.
Operating
Income
income.
we have to minus. Okay.
Minus.
So now you calculate the total of this. How much you'll get?
One lakh 2,500.
1 lakh
2,500.
1 lakh 2,500. Okay. Next, we have to minus what? Non-cash and non-operating income.
Income.
Yeah. So before this, you add this. How much you're getting?
1,52,500.
1 lakh
52,500.
52,500. Okay, so it will be easy for us to continue. Next, what you have to, what are the any incomes are
Profit.
given?
Profit on sale.
Non-operating income. Yeah, one is given, that is profit on sale of machinery.
3,000.
How much is that?
3,000.
3,000. Anything else?
No, sir.
Any other incomes are given? No. So you minus this 3,000. So when you minus, how much you'll get?
1,49,500.
1 lakh
49,500.
49,500.
1,49,500. This is called as net profit after adjusting non-cash items. Is it clear? Did you understand? Any doubt? Yes or no?
Sir, this general reserve is not there in the performance.
General reserve is not there in?
Format.
Yeah, any apportionment, because there are so many things are there, they may not give everything here. Okay, sometimes many examples are there, like apportionment of profit, no, even the what is that, preliminary expenses or the miscellaneous expenses, many will be there, but they cannot really list everything, so they're not given it. But it is a apportionment of profit will come here. Anything what your apportionment, like provision for dividend is not given there, or proposed dividend, that also comes here. Okay, so remember that what all we did in the fund flow statement, no, for preparing adjusted P&L account. Those things will come here. Clear? Because when it comes to format, they may not give you sometime everything. So whatever we have done in the P&L adjusted account, P&L adjusted P&L account in the fund flow statement, those things you will write here. That we did actually T format. We have added, we have debited cash and non-cash of items, and then apportionment of profits, and we have credited the non-operating incomes. Yes or no? But we are doing, now we are doing vertical, that's all. So that format, if you keep it in mind, this half of your thing is done. So we have got that. Next is, what are the next step?
So changes in current
Yeah.
liabilities.
That is the changes in current, what is that? Changes in
Current operating
working capital.
assets.
Yeah. We can read as working capital, we can write short form. Changes in working capital we have to write now. So what we have to add? We have to add increase in current liability and decrease in current assets. We have to add. Now tell me from the question, any increase in current liabilities are there? Sorry. Increase in current liabilities.
Creditors.
Creditors increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increase.
Increase means we have to add. So increase in I think I didn't write that. I'll just add 1 minute. Increase in
Creditors.
creditors. Yeah. How much?
5,000.
5,000.
5,000. Next,
Bills.
Bills pay.
The prepaid.
So decrease in bills receivable, sir.
Bills payable.
any liabilities increase is there?
So decrease in debtors.
No, liabilities are over. No liabilities are increasing. Bills payable
Bills
increase or
payable.
decrease?
Decreases, sir. Bills payable.
So we will write that later. That will come under deduction. Then outstanding expenses
Decrease.
decrease, so it will not come. Prepaid expenses
Increase.
Increases.
increase. And does it come here? Prepaid expense is what? Liability or asset?
Asset.
Current asset. Yeah.
Current
So current asset should be decrease. So
decrease.
any decrease in current assets, you tell me. Now, debenture is it decreasing or increasing? So debtors
Debtor increasing.
Increasing, sir.
increasing. So we will not write that. We will not add that. We will
Receivable
select that. Next, bills receivables
Decreasing.
decreasing. So that we can write here. So decrease in bills receivable. How much?
1,500.
1,500.
500.
Next, check any other assets. Prepaid expenses decrease or increase?
Increase.
Decrease. Then that we have to decrease. Okay. So only these two. So add how much you'll get?
6,500.
6,500. So when you add this
1,56,000.
1,49,500, how much you'll get?
1,56,000.
1,56,000. Next, what are the next step?
Less decrease in current liability and increase in current assets.
Yeah. Next is you have to increase, we have to deduct now any increase in current assets and decrease in current liabilities. Okay. So now you check any increase in current assets.
Debtors.
Debtors is increasing. So write down increase in debtors. Debtors increase how much?
3,000.
12,000 and 15,000. So 3,000 is increase. Next, any other assets increase?
Prepaid expenses.
Prepaid expenses.
100 rupees.
Sorry. Increase in prepaid expenses. Yeah. How much?
100.
Pardon me?
100.
100. Yeah. Next. Any other assets increase? Now you check the decrease in current liabilities.
So bills payable,
Bills payable is
Receive-
decrease.
rec-
How much decrease?
2000.
2000. Decrease in bills payable, 2000. Are you getting it, students? How to do it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, decrease 2000. Next, you check any other liability decreasing, current liability,
Outstanding expenses,
yeah, outstanding expense also decrease.
1000.
Yeah, decrease in outstanding expenses. How much?
1000.
1000. Any other liability decreasing?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No? No.
No.
Okay. So totally, how much will get?
6,100.
6,100.
100.
So now you will get what?
1,49,900.
Cash flow from operating activity.
1,49,900.
So now you have to minus. You have to minus 6,100. Okay, from 1,56,000. How much will get?
1,49,000.
1,49,900.
1,49,900.
49,900.
sir.
49,900. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is your cash flow from operating activity. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think time is already up. I'm sorry for that. We'll wind up now. So any doubts before we wind up?